welcome back to the Speculative Podcast. I'm Joe, and I'm here with James, and today we're going to be discussing Caliban's War, Part 2, Chapters 15 through 27. And James, shit got real. What did you think when they got into that abandoned corridor, what they found?
What exactly do you mean by what they found? The initial finding or the finding?
I guess all of it. I mean, they... I guess they went in with those pink water security operatives, which I guess they thought they were getting a good deal out of this, but I think most of them ended up being fucked. That whole experience.
They were going to be anyway, though. Like, bigger picture, they were going to be anyway, because no one's really getting off.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't even... I mean, I thought they were just going to be stuck there. They didn't know that the protomolecule was lurking. Surprise, surprise. That's what was in there.
That's why I was going to ask you, like, when you say found, what do you mean? Because, like, protomolecule, could have called that. Obviously, we know...
Yeah.
I was going to say, obviously, we know that the protomolecules is there from the previous chapters, but they don't know. So... leading into that and who they're going after and who they're bringing along, like it's obvious that that's what's going to be there. So that wasn't really much of a surprise. Didn't really drop my jaw at all. The finding everybody else already fucked up and murdered and stuff, or like that was a little bit. I don't know. I didn't expect that so much. So.
Didn't they first encounter these, I guess, really pompous fucking workers just eating pizza and shit?
Yeah.
And they blew their heads off. All right. Amos did, right? How many times did...
Amos did some... There, the only person they specifically call out, I thought, as having been shot in the head, was actually shot by what's his face, the doctor. Is it Praximund?
Praxidiki.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to remember that name. Prax. I'm just calling him Prax.
Yeah, I think that's what they call him anyway. They don't really say Praxidiki too much.
Yeah, because whoever did that to their child is a jerk. But
yeah,
though it seems like his parents were jerks anyway, so whatever. I don't know why I thought Praximund. Whatever. So we kind of know, like he in that scene, he is he's got the adrenaline. He's doing his crap. He's not understanding the social consequences of the situation he's in. And he ends up being the one that just shoots them in the face.
The woman that was just eating the pizza.
Yeah.
Totally deserved it, too. I mean, just the way they were acting. And, I mean, essentially, they knew they were experimenting with children.
I don't think those people were in on that.
You don't think that they were aware of that at all?
I don't think they were part of that group at all. No, I don't. Maybe I'm wrong on there. I could have missed that in my reading, but it seemed like they were just like.
I guess they weren't specifically named, but I had that feeling.
Yeah, I just assumed that they were like a gang of bullies who found a spot where they could hide, and so they probably just do hoodlum things and steal from people, and because things on the planet, were already so bad with food and everything that they were just hiding out and taking what they could get.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were part of the, like, we don't know what organization it is that's doing the experiments, but I don't think they were part of that group. I could be wrong. Maybe I missed something.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm going to say is I know that we ended the first section and it just said, and the door opens, and the last thing I expected them to go into was a fucking pizza party. That's the last thing.
Yeah.
that I was expecting. But I mean, that's what they did. But then, of course, shit got worse after that. So, um, like I said, they found out they were evacuating through like a secret docking port.
Yeah.
Well, and that's how they found the protomolecule, because they found a bunch of people dead fighting against like that protomolecule.
Yep.
They found the black filaments, and then Holden has a
And
fucking
then,
panic attack.
correct me if I'm wrong, but then they realized that everybody they were walking over that was already dead, what they thought was just like dried blood and stuff, probably was also protomolecule, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Yeah, so yeah, Holden just loses his shit and then just says we got to go right now, and just and for good reason. So,
Well, not according to his crew. They don't think it's as bad as he does. You okay?
that's because they were. I mean, they weren't really. They weren't really there. So, I mean, and he even makes that. He even makes that statement that they weren't really there. So they didn't really get to see, the fucking hands and shit crawling like the thing.
Yeah.
So, um, so yeah,
She
totally
didn't
get
like
it.
that answer though.
Yeah, and
Remember, her was just that she got to pull him out. She's the one that had to keep him alive. She's the one that had to treat all the cancer. She's the one that still has to treat all the cancers that keep coming back. Like, so she may not have been in the room or in the asteroid while that shit was happening, but she still feels validated in it that this is not nearly as serious as that. And like from a reader perspective, it kind of feels like that's an accurate statement, just because this isn't behaving the same way as that does. I don't know if it's just engineered differently, or if this is something from Venus to be uh, less. How do I say that? Like it seems like the first time in the first book, the protomolecule is just grabbing up everything because it doesn't have a target. And it seems like this one is condensed to an individual that is just essentially superhuman from what we saw, from what it did to the Martian forces and what it did to the um, uh, Earth forces on the surface earlier in the book. Right, that just seemed superhuman. Obviously, not human anymore, but seems more targeted. I don't know. Like I'm expecting, book wise, for that to be something that Julie and man, I can't remember his name. My favorite detective. What's his name?
um,
Oh, come on,
Miller.
man. Miller. Yeah. Thank you. That Julie and Miller, because they've basically merged into one and are control, or at least they're leading us to believe that they're in control of what's going on in Venus. Maybe they're now using the protomolecule in a like a targeted evolution instead of just grabbing all of everything that it can because it doesn't have a target. I don't know if this is that or if this is a different company experimenting.
I didn't get that impression. I didn't, from the Avasarala's perspective. I didn't get that. It just sounded like they were just watching Venus, but nobody really had control or knew what was going on.
But so you got the one ship on Venus that they watched get pulled apart, right?
Yeah,
Which was, I mean, that was an interesting bit of reading. The way the other dude was just describing how it dissected everything, like it was learning to pull it apart. Um, but they've called out like when the first attack happens on Bobbie, and then when the attack happens on the crew, that's that second attack where all hell breaks loose there. Both times, she, and I'm not going to say her name right. Whatever, you just said it. That's great.
Avasarala or Ava. It's either Ava or Avasarala. I
It's
say Avasarala because that's
I
what
am
my
a
brain
big
decided.
dumb white guy who will just butcher that name. But calls out like in their intel that both times those attacks happen, Venus becomes hyperactive.
Yeah. Well, is it like a hive mind type thing?
Yeah, so that's
Perhaps,
what I'm saying. So like I don't know. Like I'm mostly. It seems like they're trying to lead you to believe because the crew believes that this is another company doing more experimentation, and maybe Venus is just aware because it's protomolecule acknowledging protomolecule. But it almost seems like maybe Venus might actually have something to do with it, or maybe it is just protomolecule recognizing another protomolecule. I don't know. I just wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't know if it's the same or not. Because as far as I know, I mean, the first book kind of leads you to believe that um, all of it was destroyed, and the only remaining sample of it,
Yeah,
Fred Johnson has possession of. So,
but that can't. We know that can't possibly be true because Venus exists. So it wasn't all destroyed because clearly something's happened. It's terraforming Venus.
yeah, but they've been watching that, and nobody's really gone down. Plus, I don't know if it's really possible for anybody to go down there.
Sure, but are they aware of all of its capabilities to know that it can't send
I guess
stuff off?
fair point. Fair point.
You're you're your what you did there is exactly like that is the book allowing us to let the characters of the book who don't have the full picture that we get as a reader uh, guide our expectations, if you will. But like when we take bigger picture and we look at everything that we get to see as a reader that they don't get to see from the crew level, I mean, I don't know. And again, maybe you're right, and I'm just expecting too much. I don't know, but
No, no, there's no over expecting here, but
I feel like I'm metagaming. It's a game. It's a big old game of D&D, and I'm metagaming. I
no.
know
I
what
mean,
that technical thing
I'm
is.
just sometimes I overthink too, so I could just be who knows, they might not even think about it. But so yeah, so aside from the protomolecule, I guess they found the dead body of that boy there that I guess was
Yeah,
one of
the
May's
friend.
schoolmates. Yeah.
Yeah, it was specifically the kid whose dad slapped
Gave up on him.
Prax around, right?
What's that?
I think it was specifically the kid whose dad slapped Prax around when he said he was leaving. And he's like, "You can't leave," and then smacked the crap out of him.
I was under the impression that he was just giving up and he was going to leave or something.
Yeah,
I
but
just
then
assumed.
Prax went in and lost his shit on him, and then he turned around and smacked the crap out of Prax.
Oh yes, that's right.
It's that particular set of that particular parent, right? It was that was
Yes, that was
actually
it. Yeah.
okay.
I forgot about whole physical altercation there. So
I got you. Okay.
yeah, that's him. Yeah, so I guess they'll. It sounded like there was no protomolecule on the boy. It sounded like he was just on ice there, not even on ice, just sitting there,
Um.
not being
Yeah, I
touched.
don't know. I don't know. And obviously, it doesn't really do a whole lot of good to speculate about it because, uh, for all intents and purposes, that whole area is just toast. It's gone.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it obviously wasn't that boy, and it wasn't May. because May saw the creature prior, but I mean, it sounds like they had to use a human host in order to create that creature. So I'm not sure who it was. It might probably end up being nobody of consequence, but I don't know if it's even worth my time to try to figure out who it could have possibly have been.
So the question then for you is the creature on the ship with them right now, right? It's locked. It's out in the airlock.
Yes, yeah, they.
You think that's
I
May?
was, I was,
You think that's a mutated May?
I think so because didn't they? I mean, they injected it into space. They injected it into space, and then it left a bomb. I guess.
They had the
Yeah,
big
we were supposed
trouble
to. We
where
were
they kept
supposed to
trapping
read.
them under boxes, right? That
Yeah, Holden got his.
stop it, and then there was another box, and then another box. He's just kidding.
Yeah, so he went. They ejected him into space, and then the creature left a bomb, like a, I guess a organic bomb that exploded, and that's kind of like where we left off with them. It exploded. It
Oh crap!
basically ends with. I think the way they put it was funny. It was like the angry god kicked the ship, and then the chapter ends. Yeah, no, Holden got his leg trapped and was like crushing
Yeah,
his knee, and I guess he was injecting himself with drugs to not feel it. A lot of drug use in this.
I mean, yeah, straight up drug use anyway, though, because I mean they drug themselves the moment they do anything that requires any kind of speed too, because of the extra G's,
Yeah,
like drugs constantly all over the place. It's just like real life. It's as long as they're legal, then it's all good, right?
but it's got to take a toll. You're taking that shit constantly. Anything that you wanted to add to that chapter or that whole thing? Any? So you think that the proto molecule or the creature might be May? I thought it was the same creature that
The Bobbie font.
that Bobbie encountered. Yeah.
Maybe, but I don't know. I don't think so. It seems too small to be what they were talking about when they were being attacked on the surface. That seemed like more like a normal person size. This seems to be being described as child sized.
Yeah, I didn't notice the description of the size, but yeah, I mean, based on, I mean, you would think that if it was May, they would call it out or at least make it so that Prax knew about it in some way, but no, it just simply gets ejected into space, and I'm pretty sure they engine burn the fuck out of it. I guess it could be left up to interpretation, but
Yeah.
they don't really say. Anything else you want to add about the whole crew of the Rocinante before we move on to Avasarala and Bobbie?
I'm okay moving on to. I will say this. I am partial to the story going on around the crew, right? Because of the last book. So that is the story as far as actual plot movement that I am enjoying more. However, Bobbie and Ava are significant.
Avasarala.
Yeah, It's just again. I'm gonna murder that name, but I am significantly, or rather, I should say, I am enjoying them from a character perspective way more than I'm enjoying the original crew. The
Yeah,
original
I had a
crew,
feeling.
crew has like the plot and action that drive the story, but character wise, I like the two better.
Well, you still like Amos, right? I know you said that the story that we read, one of the short stories we read, kind of changed your mind on him. Does it affect you at all, or no? Or are you still enjoying him as a
No, I
character?
do. No, and I still like the whole crew as a whole. Um, they don't. I feel like from a character standpoint, they're less exciting. But from a story movement standpoint, that's where everything exciting is happening. But from a character standpoint, I like the interactions going on between Bobbie and the other individual significantly more. You just
The
gonna
other
laugh if I refuse to
individual.
say the name.
You can just say Ava if you want, I guess. I don't know.
I'm
But
gonna ruin that name horribly.
Avasarala.
Sure, but that's like the third different way
I'm
you said it.
Yeah, but I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to butcher names. what
Yeah,
how many different ways did I say those different ship names in the beginning?
that's fair. Because I think
Fuck
we
that
still
ship name that they had in the beginning. What was it again?
in the first book.
No, this book, the one that they this they disguised the Rocinante as,
Oh, I don't
or
remember
no,
what the name of it was.
it was
That's
the
before they
well,
get
it
away,
was the
though.
one, no, not the disguise. No, Rocinante was out, and he met them later. The ship that they flew to Ganymede.
Yeah, where they were pretending to be uh,
Yeah,
other people that the Marines
yeah,
boarded, and
yeah,
Amos was to fight for them. That was a great
yeah.
scene.
I can't think of the name of that for
You can't
life of me.
not look guilty like you're cheating something.
Yeah, and then of course they make you think he died. That I didn't like, but at least we didn't end the chat. At least we didn't end the section on that. I'm sure you wouldn't have liked that.
Wait, what do
But
you mean they make you think he died?
yeah, then we get. I guess he's hit hard in the head.
Oh,
Uh,
Amos. Yeah, I got you.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I forgot about that. I blocked that out. I didn't want that to happen.
he's he's refused to accept that it happened. But
Yeah, you got
yeah,
hit with a
so
beanbag round in the back of the head.
yeah, that'll fuck you up. But anyway, so Ava Sarala.
Yeah.
So there's so I guess the whole meeting with Bobbie turns out to be a fiasco. How did you feel about the whole Bobbie? I guess quote unquote testifying.
I I think I felt much the way Bobbie felt in that bureaucracy is a pain in the ass and boring as hell
Yeah,
and a complete waste of time.
yeah, and it sounded like they still weren't going to take what she was saying as anything. Um, to be honest, like I didn't really get at what they were trying to have her there, but I know it really does end with her. It's funny. She was calling her grandma for a while before she um, had her name. So you can call her grandma if you want. You can do what Bobbie did.
Okay.
You don't want to say her by name, but um,
Granny
I
A?
figured I figured Ava Sarala. Uh, she's like talks like my grandmother did.
Yeah, it's great. She is my favorite character officially now.
I figured that you would like her just because of just her sly smoothness that she has.
And I
She's
like
like
Bobbie too. 'Cause
she's like the
Bobbie knows
Tyrion.
what to do.
She's
Yeah.
like the Tyrion of this series.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh,
There is what's Tyrion from?
You don't want to talk about that.
No, I don't understand. Talk about what?
Book 6 is coming soon. Right
Book six
around the
and what?
corner.
What are you talking about?
All right, I'll move on. But anyway, yeah. So, how do you feel about her working for Bobbie? And I think at one point she has her reaching out to Mars to try to figure out what's going on.
Yep.
And how do you feel that turned out?
It tells you a lot about the character, where finding out that no one is willing to feed her information, even false information, is all that Granny A wants, because even that refusal tells her everything she needs to know.
We told her that they didn't know either, right?
Yeah.
Or at least that's what she surmised. So
Yeah.
yeah. And then I guess what is it? Soren, her other assistant.
Yeah, douchebag.
How do, I was just about to ask, how do you feel about him? But I guess you summed it up into one colorful, delightful word. But yeah, no, Bobbie went to work for her, and I guess they kind of had like that quarrel in between, where I guess Soren doesn't quite trust her. But then he started doing some shady shit himself. He was sneaking off, and she followed him. Right? I think
Yeah.
that's where we ended. So we don't know what he's doing.
No, we know exactly what was going on there.
It was just what was it? Then I guess I missed it. What happened there?
She follows him into that one. Was it a bar or something? And she thinks she lost him. And then she goes in, and they're playing pool in the back room, and he's feeding information over to one of the other bureaucrats,
Oh yeah, that's it.
because he hands over that. Granny A gave him a flash drive of information to have decrypted, I think it was. And he never bothered, because that's the whole reason Bobbie follows him, is because he finally seems like he's going to do something with it, but then he turns the wrong way and walks the wrong direction, and she knows that's not the direction that he should be going, to have the techs finally look at the flash drive when he attempts to do something with it, like weeks later than he was supposed to have. And so that's why she follows him, and he finds out, or she finds him handing it over to the other bureaucrat who's going to use it against Granny A. So he's just a spy from the other idiots. Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, Avasarala kind of
Attack her too? Didn't he like try and beat her with the pool cue, and she just whooped his ass? I'm imagining that. Was it just threats?
I think it was threats.
Ah, damn it. Mentally, I wanted him to get.
Remember her saying, "Yeah, I thought it was just threats," and like he was threatening her with it, but he never actually did it. Like, didn't she say something like, "Either stop jerking that pool cue off, or take it somewhere private"?
Yeah, I think you're right.
And she said, "I'm going to get blue balls if you keep testing me like this." Yeah, he never actually attacked her. I think he just.
Yeah, I think that was the second to last chapter, wasn't it? 26.
Yeah, she.
But we
he tried to run away, and she grabbed him, and that's pretty much how it ended, with her saying that she's going to tell on him.
Yeah,
that's how that section ended. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Avasarala's going to give her up, or?
I think she's probably already aware, and she's playing games with them. I bet you that the information on that flash drive ends up being something that she wants them to think is information that they've got on her now, or something like that. And there's actually there
you think
actually is
she's
a flash
playing both
drive sitting around.
Soren and
What?
Bobbie?
No, I think she's leaving Bobbie in the dark because she's an unknown quantity as of yet, right? But I think she knows that Soren is spying on her, and she's feeding shit over.
So she's just using him as a tool.
Yeah. She seems entirely too savvy in every other interaction to really be gotten that easily that way. Or the other end of it is she just doesn't care. Because I mean, I could see that fit in the character too. Like, yeah, go ahead, find out information on me. I don't give a shit. I'm still gonna steamroll you.
So you don't think when Bobbie goes to tell on her, as she said she would, you don't think you don't think she'll let him go or anything like that, or distrust Bobbie? That's what I'm trying to. I'm just curious to see what's going to go on, because obviously Bobbie just started working for her, so how could she possibly have the full trust of her? But
Well, I mean, to an extent, wouldn't that make her less, more trustworthy? Because they had that interaction where Bobby's like, "Yeah, you're right. Uh, if I was going to kill somebody for Mars to gain some power, you're the person I should kill." But then doesn't do it. She knows she's pretty blunt. She knows she's not really in anyone else's back pocket. She's a known quantity in a lot of those fashions, whereas Soren has been playing that game the whole time with her and is part of that society and has been trained in those schools, and so is much more likely to try and think he could outsmart someone because he's much more likely to be arrogant enough to think he knows better.
gotcha. Yeah, so I guess we'll just see how that plays out. Uh, I don't know. I feel like Bobbie and Avasarala at least are going to be sticking around. What do you think? Do you think they're here to stay? Because they weren't in the last book at all. But
Uh,
it sounds like they're setting them up to be around for the long haul.
I
Not
don't
like
know about Bobbie. I'm going to assume Granny A is. My assumption is also based off of that thing that we talked about in the middle of last book, where I didn't remember that we were going to watch the show after the fact separately, and I had watched that first episode, and she's a character in the show, which makes me think that she's sticking around. Though I guess Miller was a character in the show too. So what the fuck do
I
I know?
thought he was going to be sticking around too,
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe I'm full of shit. Yeah, I don't know.
and then
So
but
yeah,
clearly we'll never see him again. You don't kind of you don't just walk Venus off. So
so yeah, I don't know. It seems like they're important characters. Um, I'd like for them to be important characters.
yeah, I mean we'll see. Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think Avasarala will stick around. Bobbie, I'm not sure, but I mean it sounds to me, like I said, it sounds like they're setting them both up for the long haul. So I don't know. Maybe they'll span another book. We'll see.
Can we get a Rocinante 2.0 where Bobbie and Amos are the whole crew? No.
I don't know. Do you, I think the last book, like, the two different characters that we had followed separately kind of joined paths, like
Yeah.
like halfway into the book. Whereas this is, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I I would love to see Amos meet Buffy. I feel like that would be a funny interaction. You
Like
already
on
know,
opposite eyes, they just badmouth each other directly to each other's faces with guns pointed on each other,
yeah, something like that.
and then realize they're almost the same person.
Pretty much, yeah, yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure he'll jokingly have the hots for her being like, I think she's even taller than you are.
Oh, it seems like everybody who's not from Earth in this series is extraordinarily tall.
Yeah, isn't Naomi tall as well?
Yeah, they specifically called out that she's like 2.5 meters tall, something like that,
Jesus Christ.
which is like 8 feet, 7.75, 7.5, something like that.
Bobbie or Night?
Naomi, I'm pretty sure Naomi is supposed to be 2.5 meters tall.
Because she's a belter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a feeling they fucked that up in the show because they probably didn't have the budget to constantly be making sure that was accurate.
Nah, because what's his face plays Miller, and he's just normal size. They're just normal people, and Miller obviously was a belter too.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Well, guess we'll wrap it up. How you feeling so far? This book versus the last one. A little bit more intrigue.
Not yet. No, I like this one. I think there was more intrigue in the last one, but I'm
Yeah.
enjoying this for a different reason this time. I like I like the non-action based characters significantly more this time.
Cool.
But
All right.
again,
Well,
are we even halfway? We're not halfway yet, are we?
no, the end of this section puts us at halfway through the book.
Halfway? Okay.
Yeah. So I guess we're gonna start hitting the rising action and eventually the climax of this particular book. So
yeah.
So I guess the next section should be pretty good. I mean,
or start getting really good, and then the last section will be where all the shit hits the fan.
yeah. I mean, all right. So the creature's out in space. It sounded like the bomb went off and badly fucked up the Rocinante, but that's kind of where it ended. So I don't know. It sounds like they may have trouble getting anywhere.
Anyway.
Yeah, so they may have trouble getting somewhere. I guess their goal would be to get back to Tycho Station.
Well, I mean, that's where they were already going because he wants to confront Fred.
Yeah. That's another thing I should probably ask you too. What do you think? Do you think Fred's behind it at all, or?
I'm inclined to be on Naomi's side of that judgment. In that it doesn't. I know he's a politician and he's trading favors and he's trying to be important, but this doesn't feel like what we've seen from the character so far. So
Yeah,
I'm inclined to be on Naomi's side and say that this just doesn't fit his general scheme idea.
Well, he's risking his relationship with Naomi to do this too. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think he goes through with it?
Do I think he goes through with it? Yeah, absolutely.
You think he's going to?
Or I think he starts to. They get in the same room, and then things change. Though obviously, I guess now that I mean that whole conversation happened before they found the proto host,
protomolecule,
whatever you want to call it, the creature in their.
They've just been calling it the creature. So
Yeah. That all happened before they found that, and then before that whole pile of events. Man with a busted knee can't really kick someone's ass, so.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think he's pretty hot headed. So I'm sure even if he confronts Fred's going to shut him down pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
well, remember, Fred is very, very trained militarily. We got to see Was it one of the short stories
Yeah,
that we got to see how he deals with situations and how actual apt he is? So
yeah, yeah.
I don't think he's gonna lose in a confrontation anyway. In that particular, if it
If it even
though
got,
what
if it even got physical,
yeah
I mean, he just has guys that could just take out Holden out. He wouldn't even have to lift a finger anyway.
yeah I don't even
So,
think Amos would give him a problem, and I really like Amos's character, but I feel like the point of that short story was to really
hammer
just give you some awe factor for Fred a little bit there.
yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, uh, anything else you want to add to this section before we
Nope, nope. I'm
tackle the
excited for the next
next?
bit. I'm stoked for the next bit.
Yeah. All right. Well,
The next bit will definitely give us direction for expectation.
yeah,
So
we'll see how this story's playing out.
yeah,
So yeah. So join us for next time where we'll discuss chapters. I believe it's 27
28.
through. Oh yeah, 28 through 41. And that'll be section 3 or 3/4 part of the book. But yeah. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll join us again next time.